What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Football Phone Reviews. And today I'm doing back-to-back ones. I did my French one, so I'm going to be doing my Scandinavian 11. So should I have said yada 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 yada, or is that a bit stereotypical? I don't know. So guys, before I get into my Scandinavian 11, don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so that you'll be notified every time we make a new video. So this side is going to be an ultra attacking side, and that's because we've had no fullbacks from Scandinavia to have played for us. Jesper Grønkjær sometimes played in as a left back, so that's why I'm putting him as a wing back. So we've had quite a few centre backs, so it's going to be, as I said, it's going to be quite unbalanced and quite an attractive side actually. So in goal we're going to have Frode, Grodås, and he was a bit of a cult hero back then, because he came into the side and he got into the cup. He made a cup final team in 1997 because of, I think it was injury. There was an injury to the other goalkeeper, or was there any? I can't remember because my brain, without looking up and doing the research, I can't remember. But he actually didn't play a lot for us, but he managed to play in the cup final. Kept a clean sheet as well, went beat Middlesbrough 2-0, and because of that he's got like cult status at Chelsea. So don't know where he went after he played for Chelsea actually, but yeah. So what country was he from? I think he was Norwegian, Grodås. Yeah. So we're gonna have three at the back. We've got Jesper played a few times for us. I think he came in during the either Viali time, had a few games for us under Viali. No great shakes, didn't do a lot for us whilst he was here, so there's not a lot I can really say about the guy. Jakob Kjellberg, he came in under Glenn Hoddle, Swedish guy. Quite a strong defender. He could play a bit because I mentioned before in one of my videos, Glenn Hoddle wanted central defenders who can play, so he's trying to look for somebody who can play from the back. And Kjellberg came along, and during our transition period when Glenn Hoddle was trying to get us relevant again, we in the cup final got beat 4-0 by Manchester United, so didn't really do that good a job when in that cup final. What else can I say about Kjellberg? I don't know, it's a strange one. I can't really say that much about Kjellberg. I can't remember a great deal about him. Jonsson is one guy that I remember, and Erling Jonsson was a strong centre back. He took no prisoners, and I can remember some of the players used to say, you know, when you have training and you take the mickey out of some people in training, one of the players said, Erling Jonsson, you didn't take the mickey out of, because if you did, then you will feel the wrath of Jonsson. You didn't want to feel the wrath of Jonsson, so everyone steered clear when it was Jonsson. You know, Scandinavians tend to be big, strong, burly guys, because, you know, when you watch The World's Strongest Man, the ones who always win it are these Scandinavians. So this guy was muscular built and rugged looks, and quite a solid centre back for us, and he did a decent job while he was there. Wing back, on the right wing back, Jesper Grønkjær. Jesper Grønkjær was one of the most frustrating players to have played for Chelsea. He had lots of skill, pace. This guy was quick, lightning quick, but his end product a lot of the times was awful. So he used to bomb down the wing, and when he crossed the ball, it used to go into row Z or overhit. Think Zappa Costa when he was here, similar to that, you know, just knocking in crosses and not really with great accuracy. But Jesper Grønkjær would always be remembered for going down in history as the guy who scored that killer goal against Liverpool when we beat them 2-1. So, and he, like I mentioned Desai in the video before when I was talking about the French 11, this guy scored a goal that changed the course of our history as well. He scored the second one, so that meant Liverpool had to score 2 goals to get into the Champions League, and that was kind of the killer blow for them. So used to, as I said, sometimes used to love him, sometimes used to get frustrated by him. More often than not, there's lots of frustration. Talk about frustration now. I'm going on to the other guy who's more of an attacking player, but I'm going to be using him as a left wing back because he used to play as a wide man as well, and his name was Brian Laudrup. Brian Laudrup, my word. What could have been. He came with a great reputation. This guy was stellar. He was potential world class. This guy, he had so much skill, and we bought him from Rangers. He did really well at Rangers. I think he had about 3 or 4 seasons at Rangers. We bought him in from Rangers, and when we bought him in, I was so excited because his skill set was someone who could take us to that next level. And under Vialli, if we had him, I mentioned about Casaraga when I did the Italian video, when he got injured, if Casaraga didn't get injured and if Laudrup had stayed that season, there's without a shadow of doubt we'd have won the league that season. But he played 7 games for us and he got homesick. So he went and played for Bromby or some average Danish side. Sorry, Danish fans if I'm belittling Bromby, but he left Chelsea to go for Bromby. No one could understand it at the time, but if you're homesick, you're homesick. So we tried to persuade him to stay, but no, he wouldn't, and yeah, so he left. And so I'm moving into midfield. So the guy who came and took his place was a guy called Goalbeck, Bjarne Goalbeck. He came in for us, and I'm putting him in the middle of the park. He was more of an attacking midfielder. Obviously, he came in. He wasn't of that same sort of ability as Laudrup, so he came in. A lot of fans were disappointed that we got him in exchange, but he did okay for us. He scored about 7 goals in his 40 odd appearances for us, and I always remember that goal he scored against Tottenham. Fantastic goal. We were 1-0 down against Tottenham. The league was already over. We were a bit flat because I think that's the day after. I think we'd drawn with Leicester, then we drew 0-0 with Sheffield Wednesday, then we went on to play Tottenham. We were 1-0 down. But what sort of lightened the mood for us was, because we don't like losing to Tottenham, he scored a thunder blaster from about 30 yards into the roof of the net, and that gave us a bit of joy towards the end of that season, where we just missed out on by 4 points. And I'm putting Christensen, our very own Christensen, I'm putting him in as the holding midfielder, because in the 4-3-4 formation, because he can play as a holding midfielder, because when he's in Germany, he's primarily a centre back, but he can play as a holding midfielder, and he's comfortable on the ball, comfortable bringing the ball out, so he's comfortable playing as a holding midfielder or a centre back. So I don't need to go on about Christensen, because most people know him because he's in the side at the moment. He's part of the squad, first team squad. So the 3 up front now. I'm going for Mikel Forsell. Forsell came in as a youngster. He marked his debut, I think it might have been against Notts County. Correct me if I'm wrong below. I was at that game actually. It was a League Cup game. Scored 2 goals in that game. Looked fantastic. And the crowd were even singing, because we had a song about Osgood. Osgood, Osgood, Osgood. Born is the king of Stamford Bridge. And I remember the fans singing, Forsell, 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 Forsell. Born is the king of Stamford Bridge. So they thought that he was going to come in and have a great career for us. But after a promising start, he tailed off. I think he had a few injuries as well. Didn't really get back to those games, those stellar games that he had at the beginning. And he made his name more at Birmingham, I think, because we sold him off, and so he couldn't break into the first team. But he gave us some fond moments at the start of his career. Heidegger Johnson, for me, fantastic. I mentioned in my Dutch video about him and Hasselbank. Oh, that was for me the best partnership I've seen at Chelsea. So that one's top. Speedy and Dixon runs it close, but for those two, for the understanding, for the telepathy of those two, I think 50 goals between them in one season under Ranieri. this guy's skill, he was a baller. I remember that overhead kick he scored against Leeds, should have been the goal of the season that year. Yes, lots of silky play. He can drift in, drift back as well, play sort of deeper. Jose Mourinho never forgave him though, because when we played Liverpool in the Champions League match, where we just the ghost goal by Liverpool, but Eidur Johnson had a shot at the end of that game. Had he scored, we'd have been in the Champions League final, and he knocked it past the post when he should really have scored a goal. And from then, Jose Mourinho just didn't take to him, and I think he sold him off to Barcelona the season after. And finally, André Flo. What a player, 6'4". And for 6'4", this guy, usually you associate these big guys as target men, good in the air, not great with their feet, but he was different. He was decent in the air, but this guy can take the ball and dribble past 3 or 4 players. This guy had silky feet, quick feet, twinkle toes, and fantastic player for us. I always remember that game against Tottenham, 6-1. We beat Tottenham. He scored a hat-trick in that game. Brilliant. So you go down in folklore just for scoring that hat-trick. Remember when we played Barcelona, when we beat them 3-1? I think he scored 2 goals in that game as well. And we should really have gone on to the semi-final that day. I remember when Luis Figo, I was at that game as well. Luis Figo scored that goal. The crowd went silent. We thought 3-1, because we were 3-0 up in that game. Everyone was getting so excited. When Figo scored, we thought we'll go back to the new camp and win that game, probably 2-0 or something. And they won that game. They were 3. It was 2-1 for a while. Then they scored 7 minutes from time, and then in extra time, Babayaro got sent off, and then they scored. They beat us 5-1 in the end. But loved Flo when he was at the club. Brilliant player, and he's still now. He's there. He's in the scouting setup for us, so he's still part of the setup now. And so yeah, so this is my Scandinavian team. What a brilliant attacking team. So we'll probably see a lot of 5-4s in this game. You know, defensively not great, but you know, these guys will give us a lot of enjoyment going forward. We've got some ballers in there, in Flo, in Johnson, in Laudrup. So yeah, I like this team actually. For skill and entertainment, this is probably up there for that. Yeah, but probably won't win anything in the league, but yeah, definitely give us plenty of entertainment. So there you go, guys. That's my Scandinavian 11. What do you think of it? Anyone I've missed out? Change of formation or something? Just let me know. So, guys, I'll be back with another international 11 later. I think I've got a Welsh one to do. I've got a Scottish one to do. Maybe a little Caribbean one as well, and an English one. So stay tuned for the next edition, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.